This is Becton 99 talking to you from the void. After heavy deliberation, I locked in. I tried to watch the new Frankenstein. I'm a fan of Guillermo del Toro. He directed, I don't think that everything he did is amazing, but he directed Blade 2. Had a lot of bangers in there. I made the mistake of when I was a younger man, I tried to be avant-garde, and I took a girl to the movie theaters, and she wanted to see some, whatever movie was out at the time that was a romantic comedy or just a certain movie you should take someone to see on a date. And I was like, nah, girl, I can't let you just pick the basic movie. I'm just different. I'm built different. So at the time, Guillermo del Toro had the movie Pan's Labyrinth in theater. And I was like, let's see that one because it's gonna be an experience. And the movie is great. I don't know. I haven't seen it since then, but so it's kind of hard for me to lie and say it's great, but it's not a movie that you go on a first date with somebody with, someone you haven't done anything with, no, because it's kind of a heavy, bleak kind of movie. I thought it was gonna be more like a dark version of The Wizard of Oz or Cinderella, and in a lot of ways it is, but there isn't the real whimsical tone of that. So it was a terrible movie to take a first date on. So going into this weekend, knowing that this movie was coming out on Netflix, I had several conversations with key people in my life. And I was telling them, I think Robert De Niro gave the best Frankenstein performance, so far captured, and released to the public through film. Now, I don't stand behind the costuming that Robert De Niro character has, or Frankenstein, his version of Frankenstein has. But I get it. They didn't want to do the classic Universal movie version of him with the flat head and, black hair. So they made a choice. So I don't know if the design holds up because it's pretty much you're just looking at Robert De Niro. But his acting, the script, the direction, the tone, all that shit is top notch. So I was curious to see what the new Frankenstein would be like. Frankenstein is one of those properties that it's in the public domain, which means that even though Mary Shelley wrote it, her family no longer owns it. The public owns it. So any studio can make a movie about Frankenstein or Dracula, blah, 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 blah. So I'm watching the movie. I'm trying to watch the movie, and I had to turn it off. Not I had to, but I did. Because he's out there punching people, doing all this stuff, breaking people, breaking people's backs and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, if this is real, right? If we're suspending our disbelief, if he's that strong, he has to have leaping abilities. If your biceps are that strong, your torso, you get that much torque when you hit somebody, it would be in your legs as well, right? So I'm watching the first scene, and I stopped it. I don't know how the first scene ends, but he gets knocked over off the boat, gets back up. They pull the ladder up oop, too slow, down low, too slow. And he's frustrated. So he starts tipping the boat over. I don't know if he does or not. I turned it off. But I said to myself, if he can move that entire boat, pretty much military shoulder press it, then he should be able to jump vertically straight up, you know? Now maybe the movie will explain this and say he had bad hamstrings. I'm not sure. But that clue, first of all, I don't ever want to see Frankenstein punching people, um, doing, the Matrix moves. You can convey that he's really strong in a subtle way, or in a, whatever. But that was the director's choice. That's what he wanted to do. If he can move a whole boat, then he could easily jam his fingers into the metal or the boat and climb up the goddamn boat. Or, like I said, leap into the boat. But, and maybe he does by the end of the scene. I don't know. I turned it off because the absurdity of him going, "Oh, I can't get in the boat." Mm-hmm. But I can move the entire boat. I can punch a guy and his whole back bends.